tonight. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wisconsin FLL Coaches Zoom meeting for Monday night, November 27th. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. In my part, my wife caught COVID, so that's what we got to deal with the weekend. Just sign of the times, right? So, as usual, got Jay Church, head referee for the state this evening, as well as Brian Farrell, head judge advisor for the state. And we have several guests this evening who are the tournament directors for those participating in the upcoming tournaments this weekend. We've got Eric Olowski, who is the tournament director of the Riverside tournament, Nick Kaufman up in Brown County, and Max Vraney, who is the tournament director here in Madison. Well, that's where I happen to be. Administratively, we're in pretty good shape. I don't have too many things to lecture about. There's still a couple teams that need to get event ready. So please get that done. Obviously, we're running out of time. And as we all know, first systems are very difficult to deal with. So the sooner you get that done, the better off we all are. Other than that, 50 of the 80 teams, 50 of the 80 that are going on to sectionals have already been announced. So we've got the 3 regionals this weekend. We've got the last regional in Franklin next weekend. That's going to round out the 30 remaining teams that advance to sectionals. For those of you that have already advanced, please remember there is that incremental $40 advanced round payment that can be paid via credit card. If you need an invoice, I can send that to you as well. And then just so you're aware, I mean, that primarily goes to, helping our volunteers, paying for their nourishment and making sure that we treat them well so that they do come back and volunteer at future events. So thank you for your prompt payment on those. All right. Any general administrative questions as far as the rest of the season is concerned? If not, why don't we just move on to the tournament directors? And on December 2nd, we've got Riverside. And so we've got Eric Orlowski here. Why don't you start us off here about your tournament, about your regional?
All right. Thanks, Greg. I just sent out a big email dump yesterday, so you guys should have a lot of information. A few things to highlight. First of all, we're a Milwaukee Public High School. That means we have a small parking lot. So we do have, of course, the parking lot right off of Locust Street. You guys would probably be well served to carpool as much as possible to make sure everyone's able to park in that lot. If that lot is full, I highlighted in the map I sent out street parking around the school. A lot of it is like 2-hour parking except Saturdays and Sundays. So you should be fine in any of the areas I highlighted. Just, of course, take a look at the signs and make sure that you don't get a parking ticket at the event. Unfortunately, we are not able to offer public Wi-Fi, so please plan ahead for that. We do have decent cell service in the building, but just plan ahead that we won't have Wi-Fi available for teams. As far as the schedule, that'll be coming out on Wednesday at the earliest. I sent out a high-level agenda of what the schedule will look like. It'll look similar to other tournaments in the state this year, but that'll come out at Wednesday at the earliest. If you do have special requests that if you haven't communicated yet, please do so. We're not able to accommodate those requests too well with our schedule this year, but if you let me know, I'll do the best that I can. And then finally, just a reminder that we will have queuing for judging and robot game. So please do not go directly to your table, and please do not go directly to your judging room, or some poor volunteer will be wandering around the school looking for you, and we don't want that. That's all I have. So any questions about Riverside? Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Eric. Also on December 2nd, we have our regional up in Brown County. So Nick, floor is yours.
At this point in time, everybody should have received an email from me about the week before Thanksgiving, giving you a schedule to the day. We are at Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, which is on the west side of Green Bay, right off of 41 and Mason Street. People will enter at door number 14. We are in the ET building. In that schedule I sent out should have been a map as well. If you have not, please feel free to reach out and I will get you a map right away. We've got kids starting their judging sessions already at 8:30, and there will be access to run your robots on the competition tables early in the morning. Therefore, if you need to come into our space to run your robots, make sure that you're there early. Doors will open at 7:30. Plenty of parking. We'll have food on site, although there's also some restaurants around the area. Any other questions?
All right, very
Hey,
good.
Nick and Eric, I usually ask this for teams that may be watching. Do you guys have any gluten-free, vegetarian options, anything like that planned, or do you know yet? It's okay if you don't. I'm just letting people know that if they need that, they might have to bring other food. If
Yeah, I did send out the concessions menu
Okay.
from Core. So if anyone has special needs, please feel free to send me an email and I can coordinate with them to see if they can accommodate it.
Thank you.
They typically have a vegetarian option. I don't remember if they have gluten-free or not.
I will follow up with that as well. We had a menu included in the welcome letter. We will be serving hot dogs and pizza. There will be a cheese pizza there, but it will not be gluten-free. So if you need that, please bring something along.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so moving on to December 3rd, which is Sunday, Max Vraney, Tournament Director of the Madison Regional.
Hi, everyone. So as far as you all should have gotten an email from me last week, last Sunday, went over just a brief overview of the schedule and parking. So I'll just recap that real quick. Parking, we have tons of parking. It's across Wright Street from Madison College. You're going to enter on the gateway, which is facing on the west side of the building. Enter at the south doors, and then there will be signs directing you to the pits to check in. As far as the schedule, we're looking at teams arrive around 7:30, and then we're going to start practice and judging at around 8:30. And then, like Eric's tournament, please be queued to go to the gym and to your judging session. Do not show up on your own. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for any of the tournament directors? If not,
Guess
then
there's one clarification I would make as well is when you get your schedule, at least for Madison and Riverside, there's a practice match. The practice match is on the competition tables. And they'll cue you to that like they would a normal match.
Good point.
There's confusion at some of the other tournaments. I just want to make that clear.
Yep, and I'll be sending out our schedule on hopefully Thursday.
I think the confusion stems from the term practice match and practice tables. So we just got to make sure that's clear, and maybe the pit coordinator can keep reminding a little bit there too.
Yep. We'll have to come up with a, synonymous but different name. They are on the tournament tables, the practice matches. All right. Actually, speaking of regionals, at McGuanago, for those coaches that were there, I did send an email out to you guys. We kind of forgot to hand out the dog tags, so I can't remember if I mentioned it on the last call, but I'll do it again. And this actually applies to basically anybody. If you got shortchanged dog tags, please send me an email at fllteams@badgerbots.org. Obviously, McGuanago teams, there's still quite a few of you. I sent a bunch out, but there's more. If you need more dog tags, I can send them out to you, or we can, have them exchange them at one of the regionals or sectionals coming up. Obviously, we need to make sure we have enough for the remaining regionals, but then I think I've got enough if there's a few requests out there. So you should all know my email by now. FLLteams@badgerbots.org. All right, so if there aren't any further questions for the tournament directors, thank you guys for showing up, and you're kind of free to go. As far as additional questions for the game or the judging, we'll open it up to anything else. And if there's nothing else, then we'll call it an evening.
All right, so just one last thing before we go. For anybody that may be watching the video, if you are on a team that has been eliminated from the tournaments yet, or you're just have some time before your upcoming next round, consider. I see your question there, Emily. Hold on a second. Consider volunteering with us. We do still need judges, and I'm not sure what the ref count's going to be at some of the other ones, but we do need judges in a lot of the locations. So please consider donating a little bit of your time and helping us with judging and reffing if you can. It is a great way for you to, if you're a rookie coach or a first, second year coach, and you're kind of wondering, hey, why'd we, get eliminated so early? It might be a good way for you guys to kind of get into, what the judges are looking for, and what the rubrics are, and how to read them and how to understand. So, and training is available. So don't feel that you haven't done it before, you can't do it.
Thanks for signing up, Emily.
So Emily, I didn't talk to EO about it, but we can do that actually right now. I don't mind having a discussion, as long as Eric doesn't mind being put on the spot. So their question, Eric, is about holding the mat down after they launch, like by hand.
Yeah, I'm just reviewing. I think I know my answer, but I want to take a second look at the rules and be sure.
The reason I don't mind doing it live is I think he's going to have the same answer I have. So
What exactly is the robot doing that it needs?
So I can specify. So after the robot launches, so it's not during launch, it engages with a mission at a high velocity, and that sometimes makes the mat move a few millimeters off the edge. And so it doesn't change that mission that's getting scored. It's going to score either way. But then future missions, it messes with, because now it's not flush against the table edge. So that's the question.
Yeah, so I think my opinion is the home area is kind of yours to do what you want with. Outside of home is the restricted area.
Yep.
So I think if you're holding the mat within home, then you're fine. If you're holding outside of home, then you are not fine. Do you agree?
That was
It's
exactly
in
what I
home
said. Yeah.
It is in home that they need to put their hand on it. That's it. So
Yep.
I think I said the same. I had the same caveat. If you're doing it in home, we're good. If not, So yep.
All right, we have consensus.
Yeah.
Perfect.
thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Emily. All right. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, and you have questions, feel free to contact us via Slack. If you have a general question, we can get you in touch with any of the tournament directors if you need to talk to them, or Craig will send the email out to myself or Eric or Brian or whoever needs to handle your question. We'll get it as quick as we can. One of the easiest ways to get back, send an email to Craig, is just reply back to your newsletter, and it'll go to him and he can distribute it that way.
Yeah. Speaking of Slack, I was not paying much attention to it today just because I had a job. Were there any issues brought up on Slack in the last few days, or nothing?
I think we're generally okay.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling back. Nothing that needs to really be addressed. There's really a referee question out of on the general question, but it was just
Okay.
asking about adapters for using EV3 motors on Spike primes maybe next year. And I told him I would not count on it since it's not, first of all, it's not Lego and
Oh.
it hasn't been allowed before. So,
Yeah.
all right. I think
All
that, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if we've got a limited crowd this evening, so if they don't have any further questions, then we'll call it an evening and wish everybody good luck. And we got 3 regionals coming up over the weekend, so should be another great weekend.
I do have one more. I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure I'm telling the kids obviously the right advice here. They have quite a few launches that take up 90% of the area. So like when the refs at the table, like when should they say, hey refs, see it does fit in the launch area, like when like they don't want to get stopped to have a ruler come out to measure in the launch because it's like that close to like being out of the area.
So just want to make sure we're clear. The ruler
Yeah.
you're talking about is not for height.
No, it's extending outside of the arc with the
Well,
red line.
I
Because
mean,
mostly it touches the red line, but in the air.
yeah, I
So
mean,
like,
in all fairness, we'll probably put a clipboard in front of the thing to make sure it's in. I mean, there's
they
no,
can't
we
do it
have
during
to
like
know.
inspection beforehand to say, okay,
Because
okay.
how do we know? I mean, we don't know how they're going to position it to launch. I mean, that's the only fair way we have to do it. Just, I would advise them. I mean, your kids kind of know, how it works. I would advise them that's probably be prepared for that. If it looks close and we can't tell, we may put a clipboard up just to make sure it's not. It doesn't mean we're not going to let them launch. I mean, if they're in, but they should be prepared for that possibility. I mean, we're not going to try to freak them out, but we also have to obviously make sure they're in.
Okay. They might choose to modify one of them then because it's really.
No, I understand, and I understand it can be a little intimidating, but I mean, if we can't clearly tell that it's in or out, we need to
Right.
make sure.
The one is just a really fast turnover, and if
No,
they're going
I
to
get
stop,
it.
they just need to change it then.
I get it. I get it.
All right, Emily. Oh, okay.
I'm out of questions now. Yes, guys. Thanks.
Well, you know how to get a hold of us, Emily.
I know. We're going to conclude the meeting, and you're going to have another question. So I'm giving you one last chance.
Well, our meetings are on Tuesdays, so tomorrow at this hour, yes,
Oh.
we'll probably have more questions.
All
See, I
right.
sit on them all week waiting for this meeting.
All right. Awesome.
Very good.
All right. Well, like I said, good luck. We will be having another meeting next Monday, Emily, so you can ask your questions then.
She's in Franklin, I think, so that'll be your tournament as well, I think, right?
Yeah, we're in Franklin.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so it'll be challenge focused. I don't have any incremental information about Explore. We're still continuing with the Explore Festival at the Franklin Regional and at the Waukesha Sectional. And if I'm not mistaken, Nick, I think you've got some Explore teams up in Brown County. So I mean, it wasn't open to the general public, but at least the Waukesha and Franklin opportunities were there. Trying to build the Explore program. This is a first year experiment, so we're trying all kinds of new things. Anyway, all right. We'll call it an evening. Thank you, everybody, for participating, and good luck on the tables.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, good luck. Have fun.